Welcome back to A&E Presents. I'm A.
And I'm E. Okay, so
You're so upbeat every time we do that.
do you want me to just run it back? I can
No,
be sad.
no, it's okay. I'm coming at it very somber, very like those channels where they make noises.
ASMR?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're
And
ASMR and I'm
you're
a
like,
children's
"Hey."
content.
You're like Miss Rachel over there.
Thank you.
You're
That's
welcome.
really nice. I want to talk about the weeks when we're not writing. Or when you can't write. I just wrote something for the first time in like 7 days. I wrote something that wasn't like just a paragraph or like a spurt. Now I do think opening your doc and looking at it is valid.
Mm-hmm.
I think thinking about opening your doc or opening Pinterest instead is valid. But
Neither of those include writing, but pop off queen.
But I actually wrote words that were meant to be in the order that I wrote them,
Wow.
and I finished a chapter. Now ask me what it was for.
Probably none of the things that you're supposed to be working on.
That is correct.
Period.
But I wrote, and I knocked it off of my little to-do list, so
Round
that's
of
good.
applause.
You've been writing and editing this
Yeah.
past week,
Mm-hmm.
or 2 weeks, I guess, really.
Yep.
But what do you do when you're not? When you're either not writing just because life or because the computer is off?
Well, work.
Yeah.
Whenever I get a contract, I am a lighting engineer for theater.
Mm-hmm.
So I point the pretty lights and I push the buttons to make them go. And when I'm not doing that, and I don't have a contract, that's really when I start writing. Because I have like the free time to be doing that. Although I did write The Devil's Desire.
Yeah, I was going to say, what are you
Wow.
talking about, actually?
I was working because I'm just a workaholic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just crazy. And when I got off of work, I would literally like sit in bed and type till like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And then be like, oh, and I have a 8 a.m. call.
Yeah, I recall. I think, like, you're already in productive brain.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, let's just keep these good vibes going. And then if you're not in productive vibes, it's like, let's not start the good vibes.
Yeah. But we've also had like, well, you and I specifically just recently have had like such a change in scenery.
Yes.
Like we have moved, and with moving, you know, we're closer to all of our friends. And so now that we're like back in town, they're like, oh, well, why don't you come to these 50 parties that we've actually planned?
or that we have also planned.
Yeah, so I got married.
Yeah.
Then we moved.
Correct.
Thank you. And then we moved. And then when we got here, it was like club, another club,
Yes.
bus.
Yeah.
Yes. And so we really haven't had a whole lot of like downtime
Or
to
structure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To really
So,
like
I think we mentioned this. I think I mentioned this in the last episode, but our last place, we both worked in a space where we could see each other and like bounce off each other, which I really do enjoy and like. However, in this new space, we've both found like separate writing corners. So now, like, if I want to talk to you, I have to actually stand up and walk over or like bring my computer, which is fine. I need the exercise, but it's not that far. But it is different. I felt like, obviously, like I said, you got married. I was, maid of honor. So I was also there.
she was there. She worked very hard.
And then we moved. And then I felt like I had like a brief couple weeks where I felt like I had a structure. Okay, I make my coffee. I go into it's a library. If I'm working, I call it the office, but the library. And like put my little light on and I write. And then I, whatever. And that was mostly because I had a deadline. So I was like, okay, I have to have some structure. I do need to write. But I feel like at the old house is a lot easier for me to do like nighttime writing. But we have a new roommate now. And so I don't want to be up doing my like 3 a.m. shenanigans at the same level. I don't know why. It's not like they're awake. But I think because they wake up at 5, I can't be a gremlin at 3 is like what my brain is saying.
I mean, you could be like that meme where it's like my brother leaving for his early morning shift, me going back to bed.
And that kind of is how it is already. I don't know why I don't just lead into it. So I famously don't sleep. I famously am not good at it. It's not a talent I possess. So normally if I get like a spurt of like energy, it is very late at night. So that's when I like do like, oh, why did you randomly decide to do this deep cleaning project? Or like, oh, why are you doing laundry at 3 a.m. and writing? It's because like I'm awake and like that's, I don't know, my time to shine when no one else is around.
ADHD.
Yeah. Insomnia. And so I haven't quite hit that, and I think also I've talked to you before, like I have different headphones, which doesn't feel like it should be a thing. Like I don't feel as like enclosed in my space as I did before. When it's like nighttime, I'm like in the corner, just like, you know, whatever. So I feel like getting back in the groove, and then also having all these different projects and like, where do I land? The problem is I keep finishing a project and then I'm like, woo, we're done. We're done with that. We can relax. And then in the relax period, I'm like, well, I can just work on these whips that don't have deadlines. And while I'm like goofing off, messing around, not doing niche, I am like, oh wow, the new deadline is approaching. Oh no.
So what I'm hearing is you actually need the deadlines in order to write.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say yes because I mean, you were in school once.
Yeah.
Remember, there's like levels because once the deadline stress hits and it's like the first couple weeks,
Yeah.
my like avoidant personality is like, I have to do other things because if I focus on this thing, it'll get bigger and like it's scarier, and that's like on anxiety or whatever. Through the first 2 weeks, I'm like, I have to avoid this project as much as possible because it's looming in the background, and for some reason avoiding it feels better. And then it's like, I cannot avoid this anymore. Deadlines matter if someone else is relying on me. If it's a self-imposed deadline, and we've discussed this, oh well. Or like, I will just put it up and be like, and that's that. But if someone else is leaning on me and needs it to be done, stressed.
So what
I
I'm
have to do it.
hearing,
No, I don't like what you're hearing.
you have to write a $1,000 check to the NRA and then give it to me.
Would you do it?
Yes.
You would do it?
Yes.
You would do that to me?
Yes, in a heartbeat, bestie.
Okay, I don't like how quickly you said that, but also probably. Okay, no. We're not at this moment in time. It's not that dire. But I do think that once you are working, like, or on your contract this next time, that my in theory brain is that I will be forced to do, like, write. I think what's going to happen, because our other room, like, everyone will be busy. Everything that I do is on the computer. Unless it's, like, seeing my friends, 90% of anything that I do is, like, computer-based. And so that's another thing where, like, I'll open my document to do my document, and then I'm like, but I could also be working on this other thing for, you know, this project or whatever. So there's that as well. But for a brief time, everyone else will be mostly out of the house, and it will just be me. Now, knowing myself, for the first couple of days, I'm going to be like, great. Pee with the door open, sing really loud, walk around the house, wake up at ungodly hour, sleep at ungodly hour, acting like it's like summertime and I'm 14, you know? And then I'll get sad because I'm alone. And then I'm like, well, why feel feelings? We could write. We could write feelings. We could put torture on character. You know?
Real, yeah.
So I think that's what it's going to go. I think I'm going to have 3 days of being crazy and wild.
Mm-hmm.
And then be like, oh, maybe we shouldn't eat cake for breakfast kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do our work.
Yeah.
And then I'll hunker down.
Yeah.
It's not like they're leaving. I'm just going to have more time alone.
Yeah, I'm about to say, we're all coming back home still.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have extremely long days.
Yeah. The evenings are for the boys. The boys being all the girls.
The evenings are for the girls.
The girls, yeah.
Honestly, I might need it.
Yeah.
And like a glass of wine.
I sent Alex a video yesterday, and I was gonna say you when you start work, which I know it's gonna be a great time, but the one of the alcohol with like a spritz of OJ, yeah, I'm gonna have
wafting the orange.
Yeah, she overdid it. She did a spoonful, and I think that was too much.
Yeah, everyone was saying that's too much juice, actually.
Yeah, I don't know why she's watering
Can't
down
even
the vodka.
taste the vodka anymore.
Yeah, no.
We're crazy.
Not that we drink a lot, we really don't. But just, but if the opportunity, if there's one in my hand, I better
Girl.
not taste an ounce of liquor.
Period.
I want it to be straight juice and still get,
Yeah, so when we're not writing, we're either working or drinking.
No, but that's not what we said.
That's almost exactly what we said. And that's almost verbatim what we said.
And that's actually, first of all, writing stereotype. Writer stereotype. But secondly, that's not, go ahead. Go off. Queen.
Is writing stereotype alcohol or cocaine?
What year is it?
These are the real questions that we should be asking.
Okay, you're going to hate this story.
Mm-hmm.
My ex, who is a writer, not promoting, but is a writer, they would tell me that they had to drink because of writing. Like, I have to get drunk because I'm a writer and things like that. And I was like, I don't know about that, sis, but go off, king. So I do think drinking is a stereotype. Alcoholism is a stereotype.
Mm-hmm.
And then cocaine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we're poor. So we don't have, not that I would, but we don't have cocaine money to even joke about.
Elsie said, when I get rich and famous
There
and
will
you
be
start
signs.
buying my books, there will be signs.
No.
You're going to be like that picture of Justin Bieber that just came out.
What?
You didn't see
I
that?
don't think so.
Yeah, for Kris Jenner's 78th birthday party,
God.
he was there, and the pictures of him getting out of the car, he's got, like, white shit all over his pants. Yeah. And he's wearing,
What
like,
was he there
sunglasses.
for?
I don't know,
Are they
because
friends?
he's definitely hooked up with 2 of her daughters before.
I didn't know this either.
Yes!
Who? The Jenners, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay, that'd be crazy
Yeah.
if it was.
I was like, so weird to be going to the birthday party of a woman when you've slept with 2 of her daughters and you're high on coke.
I mean, honestly,
But pop off, king.
pop off. I don't condone it in a real way, but kind of slay.
Yeah.
Also, he could have just had powdered donuts.
Elsie,
Yeah.
we have gone on a tangent
Okay.
far too long.
Sorry. Going backwards.
Uh-huh.
Writing.
Mm-hmm.
What we do when we're not.
Yes.
Or how do you restart your engine? Like,
Oh, okay. I gotta get into, like, the headspace for it.
mm-hmm.
Elsie made a joke on the podcast a couple episodes ago that I look like the lo-fi girl.
It's not a joke. That's real life.
Period. And so that's true though. I have big noise canceling headphones, and I put them on, and I have like a ambient spatial playlist that I only use whenever I'm writing. And I put that on to kind of like get myself into like the writing mood, and then I sit down with my laptop and I like have to go back and like maybe read like a couple of paragraphs where I left off, just to like make sure that I'm in the groove, and then word vomit from there.
I think it's that, again, is a level of your prepared and like ritualness compared to my chaos.
Oh my, I'm kind of scared what you're about to say.
Okay, so one thing that I've said before, I don't recall if you've heard it many times, I think I've said on the pod too, is that I write books per mood. So specifically for like the sentient object things, that's like girly pop. That's having fun. Maybe someone put in a review that one of my books was snarky and fun, and that they like complimentary.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like that. I like snarky fun, like, because I do try to like very, very subtly, sometimes not so subtly, throw in like commentary, so I can be a little snarky, but the mood needs to be fun because I like to pop off jokes. And then maybe if it's like closer to a sex scene, we can get sentimental. So I have a playlist that is a sex playlist that I only play for sex scenes, so that I can get into I can get into the grind set, if you will. But then I also, for like bigger projects, so like the Big Whip has character specific playlists. So like if I'm writing in their POV, I can listen to that. I have a overall writing playlist that does gear a little sad. I posted once that was like, when you're playing the wrong playlist for like, I can't listen to the overarching one unless I'm in like a trance state, because some of the songs are sad, and that's not a sentient object.
Got it.
So, like, I have multiple different things to curate the mood. But then also, like I said, I write in spurts. So sometimes I'm like, I know I need to write, but I don't know what. So then I use a roulette wheel to see which project I'm going to the face that you're making right now I wish could translate, to see which project I'm going to jump into.
This is horrifying, bestie. I'm like actually appalled. I am clutching my pearls right now.
No, I am a chaos gremlin.
Well,
and
clearly.
And you know this. And I have been trying to set up the space, like I said, in the library, mostly where I have my coffee, I put on the lights, I, do the thing, I listen to whatever playlist. I would love to say that, like, visualizing helps, but it really doesn't, because I can get hours lost in visualizing and, like, planning and then not actually write. And also, I can not be allowed to reread what I wrote. I'll do it anyway, but it doesn't help me be productive. So I really have to, like, curate the exact, what is this specific thing, what am I going to focus on, and then jump into it. And then if I'm not feeling that one, then I'll say, like, well, what am I feeling?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll stay on that for, like, the next couple hours. I'll move to that project. But as a chronic project hopper, it is, like, a little chaotic because there's so much going on. I started using Milanote, which is, like, a virtual red string board.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have, like, all of my characters, all of the ones that are specifically Hornicopia, all of the ones that maybe have crossover, all of this, like, what are Elsie things that are in all of these, what are lore, because also I've talked about, like, I've dropped lore and then forget, so this has kind of been keeping me, like, having a lore book, and also, like, future projects are on there, so I know, okay, maybe I should mention this, or, like, this place, or, like, where are these people going to be, so I have all of these things that I have to, like, get into, and I guess deadlines are the thing that help me bring my brain back together. So I'm like, it's been too long. Or if I read something and I'm like, I want to, like, this has inspired me to write this similar, never like the same story, but like vibe. Or like, oh, like I really like how they handled this specific line or this specific thing. Then I'll go back into it. But
I do have something like that. Obviously, I have my journal. But if I'm ever like reading something or I see fan art, that's the big thing. If I see fan art of something that I really like, I have folders on my notes app where I put like quotes or pictures or like just general vibes that wouldn't otherwise be on my Pinterest board. And then as I'm writing, I'll like go in through my notes and I'm like, okay, where can I add this? Where did I want this? What's the vibe for this?
For Hornicopia specifically, I have like a reference chart that I don't always go back to because, like, it's more like if I'm not in a trance, then I'll be like, oh, well, let's start here. Because, like, if I'm out in the grocery store and I think of a pun for a vegetable or, like, oh, I saw this or, like, oh, this kind of looks like that, I'll, like, write that down and be like, oh, here's a reservoir of, like, references or jokes I can get to. Or I've talked about this on a different episode, but a lot of people pitch things. And so that'll go into, like, the reference thing of, like, if I can make this into the story, I can. One thing someone pitched to me, not really pitched, but it was during a beta read. Someone said, I said, for God's sake, and they were like, does God exist in this world? And I was like, or for chef's sake or whatever. And they're like, that implies, like, whatever. So that's going to be, like, a huge thing in book 3 that we're going to delve into. So, like, I've, like, kept notes on that in this way. But it's, if I'm not actively writing, I'm looking at all of these, like, chaotic notes. And what I've found, too, because we've talked about how I keep notes everywhere, in the... I'm hearing myself, but in the in-between spots...
I hope so.
I will, like, compare notes and see if I've repeated something. Then I know, like, okay, I really do like this idea because I've thought of it 3 separate times. Or, like, oh, I totally forgot, like, this person was related in this way. Oh, let me, like, refresh that. Or, like, we've talked before about adding character traits to a character and then forgetting until you're doing your, like, second pass. So, like, the in-between times I'm doing that. So I'm always thinking about my stories, and then I'm guilting myself for not writing them until I can hit that trance.
I think there were some authors on Threads that were talking about going through their drafts and, like, editing, and then realizing that halfway through the story they changed their character's eye color.
Oh.
Yeah, and being like, oh, I forgot that she had blue eyes, But in here, I wrote that she is green. And, like, almost forgetting, like, your character traits or, like, for the second book, I remembered she had glasses, but I hadn't written about her glasses for, I don't know, like 3 or 4 chapters. And I was like, wait, she's doing all of this. Like, her glasses would fall off, or she would go and she would, like, fix her glasses like how people with glasses actually do, just instinctually.
Yeah.
Or they would get tangled in her hair, or she would have to take them off before she sleeps, like things like that. And yeah, I forgot. I was like, dang, I need to go back and I need to add something about her glasses.
I think that's funny. With the eyes.
Uh-huh.
In the Big Whip, there is one particular eye color that is, like, very important.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept giving it to people willy-nilly. And I was like, wait, they can't have that. Like, that would mean that they're this race, and they aren't. They simply aren't. And I also, going back to read, I'll notice, like, I will give freckles and dimples, like, they're freaking candy.
Yes!
Everybody has at least one.
Yes.
And everyone's freckled and everyone's smirking. And so I'll be like, okay, sorry, you can't have that one, actually. I have to reserve that for, like, for it to have impact. Everyone can't be dimpling. And, oh, another one is crooked teeth. In the Big Whip, if there's, like, a childish character, I gave them crooked teeth. Like a twisted front tooth or something.
A twisted front tooth.
Like
you said bad genetics.
A crooked or chipped tooth. Every, like, kid or younger character had a chipped tooth. And I was like, okay, maybe that could be a plot. Like, maybe dentists are having issues or something. But they can't all, like, that can't be a specific character trait that every kid has.
Yeah.
I think every time we talk, I'm a little more understanding of my chaotic process, which I won't be changing.
You said, I see it, I hear it, I'm not changing it.
And that's none of my business,
yes.
actually. But you know what it does mean?
What?
I can't do coke if I'm already like this. That, I think, is the, what I've come to.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so you think, for you, you're wrapping up a project right now.
Yes.
You said last time that you were on contract, you worked more.
Yes.
Since you're wrapping up a project, do you think you're going... Because I know you've already started book 3, of which we don't have any details. Y'all don't have any details on. I barely have, because this girl doesn't let me know anything.
No,
until it's need to know.
Yes, I'm pretty tight-lipped. I actually posted something to my Instagram, and Elsie was like...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Elsie was like, what is this? And I was like, hee hee.
That's an evil laugh. That's damn near a cackle right there. Yeah, so this whole time, I'm sitting here thinking, oh, my best friend's writing a book. I have this insider information. I know what's coming. And then I'm like, wait a damn minute. What is this? And she's like, you're just asking now? I didn't know I needed to form the question, actually.
Yes, you did.
So...
So, trust, I'm also keeping Elsie in the dark.
If you guys know nothing, I know an inch of a half of a quarter of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway.
Yeah.
That being said,
Uh-huh.
you're wrapping up book 2.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that while you work, you'll be jumping into book 3, or you're going to take a break?
Yes.
To which?
I will be writing. In fact, I have already started book 3.
Yeah.
Because these characters...
singing and dancing.
They have been gnawing at the bars of their enclosure, clawing at the sides of my brain. They need their story to be told, and they needed it to be told yesterday. And I am nothing if but a humble vessel for them. So, yeah, I thought I ended book 2. Didn't actually end it. Yeah. Thought I did. And so immediately I sent the draft over to Elsie, and I started working on book 3. And then Elsie was like, you should probably look at this. And I was like, And then my character disclosed something to me that actually I had...
Speaking of forgetting things.
Yes. So my FMC for book 2 was like, hey, bestie, so I'm actually bisexual. And I was like, what do you mean by that? And she was like, I've actually been bisexual this entire time. I'm like, no, you haven't. And so I looked at my Pinterest board, and one of the very, very first pins I had put for her was like a picture of like the word gay. I was like, oh. I was like, oh, wait, Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that's, and that's on me. And that's on me forgetting.
Mm-hmm.
You forget yourself.
Yeah.
I forget you.
Correct.
And so, yeah, so I had to go back and add things. So book 3 has been kind of pushed to the side as I'm literally, actually finishing book 2 this time.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think that during this next period, during like the holidays or whatever, I'm going to be working on my purse whip
Mm-hmm.
and then the project that I need to write
Yeah.
with sprinkles of other little things just to keep me sane. But I started the purse thing on a whim and I thought it is still going to be short.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, these are the characters that are popping in the most, and like I have a pretty clear idea of who they are,
Mm-hmm.
which is funny because half of what I'm knowing is not going to end up in this document. So I'm wondering if that will. The problem with falling in love with your characters is that's how you get series. So
Yeah.
I have no intention, but they're. And I also don't know where to put them. This is a whole other conversation. I don't know if they're part of Elsieverse in the sense of, like, it's not Hornicopia, but they live in the same world.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. But that's going to be future projects for me during this creative time, I think.
Period.
All that being said, don't hold me to that. We have been... That has been A. I have been E. Bye.